Yo! This is a video about my level 84 Wind Druid. Kind of a Diablo 2 single player. This is kind of a budget version. There's only one item that's really not that budget, and there's a lot that can be improved. But I have beaten the game, um, and just thought, just another one for the catalog. One more video. Uh, this is a build I've wanted to make for a long time. I just think it's kind of cool. You get lots of summons. Just like look at that. Like you look pretty sick with like the army of nature around you and your trusty mercenary companion and this weird fucking vine that's somehow alive, and this thing creeps me the fuck out. Actually, I gotta be honest. I really did not want to use it for a long time. It's like, what the hell? Oh my god. Oh, so gross. Um, anyways, it's not that I don't love caster builds, but this is a pretty close range caster build, so I thought it would be pretty cool. I will say it annoys the shit out of me that your whirlwinds kind of go all over the place. Like, I'm trying to cast at a monster over here, and it's going all the way, like, fucking all over the place. Anyways, whatever. It's besides the point. I have the sound kind of, like, boosted up really high right now, because I kind of like the ambiance with the Druid, but I'll turn it back down um, before I start doing a bail run. Anyways, skills pretty self-explanatory. As the Wind Druid, you just max out all the wind skills, and what's kind of cool is you actually use 3 out of the 4 of them as like primary skills. So you've got obviously Tornado as your primary damage skill. Cyclone Armor, one of your primary defense skills. It absorbs quite a bit of damage. You interestingly enough, as budget as this character is, it doesn't struggle with high elemental damage monsters as much as like other high budget or like high gear level characters I have do. So like souls, you deal with souls really well actually because of Cyclone Armor, and then Hurricane provides just another little piece of damage over time. I feel like the sound is going to be super loud on that. All right, um, Hurricane is just a nice little bit of damage diversification because your tornado does physical damage, so it's nice to have a little bit of cold damage. You actually have kind of a difficult time dealing with physical immunes, so Hurricane definitely helps. I do keep a spell steal on Switch so that I can cast Decrepify on physical immunes so that I can actually damage them with my tornado. But I have to be honest. If I'm fighting like the Blood Witches in the Worldstone Keep level 3, sometimes I will just teleport past them because they are very dangerous, and it's just kind of annoying to fight them. Um, so yeah, you max out these 4. Arctic Blast I feel like does some pretty shitty damage, so I just kind of skipped right over that one and went totally skipped over shapeshifting right into summoning. Um, Now, the summoning tree, you could probably do a number of different things with. Um, I decided to kind of put a lot of points into everything, so I don't like to have to use a lot of potions. This character is not quite good enough to just totally not use potions, but I do enjoy the points that I've put into Carrion Vine and into Solar Creeper. I kind of switch off between them while I'm playing for either, you know, uh, life replenishment or for mana replenishment. And they're both quite useful. I basically never have to use mana potions if I use Solar Creeper, and I can generally run with about a half bar of HP, um, and just kind of know that I will eventually be healed up after I kill more monsters, and my Carrion Vine can feed on them. So I did put 3 points into there. Um, Obviously, Grizzly is kind of where you're at. So I know that some people say that once you put a point into Grizzly, if you're just using it as a meat shield, just start smashing points into Oak Sage. I thought that was dumb because your Oak Sage just dies a whole lot. And just by having a couple plus skills in it, like I get a decent amount of life bonus. Um, then I really figured that putting a couple points into Direwolf so that I had more just base life on my Grizzly um, would be nice to help it as a meat shield. Because, like, I, okay, so, I have almost 1,200 life, 2,800 on my Merc with the Oak Sage. If I decast that, I only have 700, he only has 1,800. So I get about 600, he gets about, 1,000 life. That's a huge amount just already. I just don't think that my Oak Sage, which it dies all the time and I have to recast it, like, I just figured that having higher base health on my Grizzly, and then I put a couple points into it just for a little bit of extra damage. I don't know if the damage is really that useful at all, but that's what I was doing with my skills, and maybe I'll start putting a couple points into Oak Sage from here on out. Since my Grizzly has a decent amount of life as it is, I don't think I need to put any more points into Direwolf, and I don't think his damage is going to get very good, so maybe from here on out. But I don't expect that I'll be much higher than level 85 with this guy, anytime really soon. So, anyways, onto the gear. As I said, it's kind of a budget character, so you build it pretty much like a budget Hammerden, with just a few exceptions. So, Whiz Spike, fucking amazing. I would love to have a Hodo, because you don't actually use that much mana, so you don't really need the increased mana and the mana regen. Hodo is still going to give you decent resistances along with 3 to all skills, so would kind of love to have that, but I don't have the runes for it. I don't think I've ever found like a Vex rune. I'm pretty sure you need a Vex rune, and I don't have an Elm rune. I've only found one of those in my whole life, too. So, Whiz Spike it is, along with Skin of the Viper Magi, just continuing that faster cast rate, and 1 to all skills, all resistances. I did do some calculations on this character. Oh, so I do play on Pluggy, spoiler alert. I've got 100% faster cast rate, which I believe is all you need to get your like second fastest FCR cast or something like that. And I can't remember if there's one faster and it's like 200 and it's just like totally unreasonable for me to try and hit. So we're at 100% through my Mage Fist, my Wizard Spike, and my Skin of the Viper Magi. Maybe I need 110. I can't remember. I did have a different ring. I actually didn't have a Ravenfrost for a really long time, and I can't remember if that ring had 10 FCR on it. And you actually didn't need the Ravenfrost on this character. As a caster character, you just kind of don't, but it is nice to have now that I do have it. And I was able to save some points into Dex to get 50% block. Normally on my caster characters, I don't care about having block, but on this particular character, I did want 50% block, at least so that, because you're kind of on the front line, like I kind of have to stand right next to characters to cast Whirlwind at them effectively sometimes, or Tornado, whatever it is. So I have quite a few points into Dex, just enough strength to use my gear for the most part. I think this one is my highest strength item here. I do have a few extra points into strength maybe that I need just in case I find a Storm Shield, because a Storm Shield would definitely be better than your Spike Thorn. Because I'm really just using this for the damage reduced. And it does have a socket. I believe this one comes with a socket. Like I didn't have to use a socket, so I just put a diamond in there. But like a Storm Shield has better cold and lightning resistance than this thing, anyways, along with higher DR. So overall, Storm Shield would be much better. Along with it would actually have a higher block rate chance. So Storm Shield much better. Just don't have one, so I'm using this instead. Yeah, so Viper Magi plus skills, cast rate. Mana, Mage Fist, best in slot, probably for faster cast rate, along with the regenerate mana. Like I said, now I've got a Ravenfrost, just gives plus to mana, that plus to Dex is nice, cannot be frozen, and Cold Absorb is good. The Gloom's Trap is of course just for mana regen and max mana again. Along with the life, the extra vitality is pretty nice too. Um, you could use a Tal's belt. Actually, and maybe I should really, because I don't know that I need as much mana as I've got. Like a Tal's belt with the plus to Dex would actually be quite nice. Let's just see how much mana this gives me. So that gives me 50 mana, where a Tal's belt would give me, I think, 30. Um, so you could use either one. I just happen to be using this one, I guess. This is just a mana ring with a little bit of magic find on it. Actually, this is kind of cool. So it gives me plus to Dex, which once again nice for the block rate. Plus to mana, plus to fire res, which I don't think I'm using, but maybe someday I would if I change my gear around. I have not put any points into energy, so I've just slammed points into vitality whenever I don't need to get my block rate up. Oh yeah, so one other thing I'll say about Pluggy is that I do have ladder-only rune words available, but I don't use them. So you know, I just think the game is more fun without them. I do have so in general, like you know, I could use a Spirit Shield for faster cast rate and for plus to skills, but you know, I'm not gonna do it. Like it's just on the principle of the thing. I'm not gonna do it. So instead, we're using the Spike Thorn. You could use pretty much any plus skills amulet. Plus skills are just super important for your damage on this character. This just happens to be the only amulet I have that gives +1 to all skills. You know, I don't have any Druid specific amulets right now. So, and then the only and then of course Alders I'm using. You could use a lot of different things. You could use Silkweave, you know, for mana regen and mana max mana. I just really like having the faster run walk. I see I'm not even using this for fire res. That's hilarious. But the plus 50 to life, very nice. So the run walk and the plus 50 to life are very nice. Maybe I should just use crafted mana boots that had like 20 FCR, or I'm sorry, 20 faster run walk or 30 faster run walk. But you know, I haven't decided to put that much effort into this character yet, so Alders it is. Looks like I do actually use the poison res on this. You know, it's just nice to have all maxed res, but truly any other amulet would be probably better. My charms are mostly just life and mana charms. I do have just one light res charm right there, which if I use the Storm Shield, I could switch out, by the way, as well. Faster hit recovery, life and mana. Oh, then I just have 2 skillers for elemental skills and then summoning, and then the Anilus charm. So that's the other thing I was going to say is that on Pluggy, Uber Diablo spawns, so I have killed him, and I do have this Anilus charm, which I don't need. You know, like I said, my resistances are fine without it. This just gives me 3% extra block. But you know, if I took this diamond out of this and instead put a like an Ort rune in it, I could have max lightning res, and I really just don't need max cold res. So we would be fine. We would be fine. So the only non-budget piece of gear on here is this Delirium helm that I made, and I used the only other ISP rune that I've ever found to make that. One of them I used for making a Chains of Honor, and then I used this thing. So this was kind of sweet. I found this totemic mask with +3 tornado, and so this thing it contributes quite heavily to my damage. You know, it gives me 800 damage, which is wild from one piece of gear. So, pretty nuts. Sometimes it's a really cool helm to have. I almost wish that when I rolled this thing for sockets, because I did socket it using the cube, that I kind of wanted 2 sockets, and I was just really hoping not for one. One would be just kind of a tragedy. Um, it was very unlikely to get 2, which I was going to build a lore helm in, and I would only have +4 to tornado then instead of +5. But I thought that was going to be all right because the lore helm would give me light res. It would give me plus to mana after kill. I was just kind of worried about this thing because it was so expensive, but also because the 1% chance to cast Delirium is pretty annoying sometimes. Like, if you just get unlucky, you cast it a lot. But the defensive skills on this are pretty fantastic. So, I mean, you do get a little bit of magic find from it. You do get some defense, some vitality, +2 to all skills. And then the chance to cast Confuse, Terror, and Mind Blast are by no means unhelpful. Like, they are pretty nice. But in any case, let's just go do a bail run. So we've got souls, yeah. So we've got that Confuse cast already. You can see that at least from from the souls, I didn't take too much damage right off the bat. What did I lose? What did I lose? Oh, my vine. And I do kind of obsessively cast my my hurricane and my put those in there. So check them out later. Oh shit. I do kind of obsessively cast my my hurricane and my armor because it can disappear pretty quickly against souls. Fuck that! Jesus Christ! One of the reasons I get so annoyed playing this character, and it is kind of a fun character, but can I just have my whirlwinds go where I want them to go? Like, please. And you see already that, like, against souls and like other difficult monsters, like my Oak Sage dies so quickly. So it's pretty annoying. Oh, I didn't talk about my Merc. I will do that. Also, so souls have a pretty immense amount of physical DR, so having a Hurricane is actually a really nice killer against them. Like, that's extremely helpful. So my Merc is not very good. He dies pretty often, and I just wanted to make the video about this character, even though it would probably be a more complete video if I had a better Merc. So he's using a Hone Sudan. Here, once I kill these guys, I'll just spec into him. So he's using a Hone Sudan, a Duriel Shell, and a Rock Stopper. And all of these items by themselves are quite good. This is the only Duriel Shell I've ever found, by the way. So the Hone Sudan I have for Crushing Blow. I've socketed it with some lifesteal and some attack speed. I've upped it to a Ghost Spear, which kind of actually made some complications. So I had to use both of my normal and nightmare sockets from Larza on these guys. And I actually haven't socketed anything in hell yet. But I had to put some emeralds in there so that I had enough dex to use this thing as a Ghost Spear. The Rock Stopper I wanted to use because I don't have a Treachery right now to put on him, and I wanted to have some sort of percent DR. So at least I get 10%, and then the Duriel Shell I just thought was a decent enough armor for the Cannot Be Frozen and the plus to life and plus to the rest of your resistances. I could probably get something that was better. I just don't really have a lot of good Merc armors right now, unfortunately. Alright, so let's get my Oak Sage back and my Vine again. Oh yeah, okay. So this is where we swap to my my Spell Steal and make sure we get Decrepify on these guys. Yeah, I mean, if I had a Reaper's Toll, that would make this significantly easier, but I don't. So, oh well. Yeah, dealing with physical immunes is a bit of a hassle. You can see again that pretty much all of my summons died. I actually really like Ravens. I think they're super fun. They don't do any damage. Jesus. But they do kind of. I think it's actually like them blinding people is by no means an insignificant survivability tool for my merc, and my bear. There we go. Jesus. I don't know if everyone is gonna survive. All right, there we go. Oh fuck. Jesus. I mean, playing this character is like you gotta have your eyes on everything. You gotta be knowing where your whirlwinds are going. You gotta be knowing where your bear is and where your merc is. Like, it's tough, dude. It's some tough shit. I mean, there's like a 90% chance that your Oak Sage is dead at any particular time. So, you know, oh man, it's just super annoying. Jesus. Yeah, once again, it is just funny that it does feel to me like what primarily killed those souls was not my whirlwind, but my hurricane. I keep saying whirlwind, but it's tornado. So what's kind of a bummer, so I've got 50% block. Jesus fucking Christ. So like I said, this guy's not quite good enough. It'd be nice to have like a Thunder Gods, just for a little extra lightning absorb and lightning resistance. Just don't have one. Only ever found one of those. So that's a bit of a shame. Because, you know, I'm not struggling too hard with the souls, but they still do some serious damage. Oh, these guys are super fun. Alright, boom, boom, boom. Alright, get all my summons back. One, two, one, two, one, two. It's like, I feel like a lot of the time I'm just not even casting whirlwinds at things. Oh, it's so silly. Use that. Oh, there's more. So yeah, my merc definitely could be better. My setup could definitely use a Hodo and a mana boots and a storm shield. But I mean, it's doable. Like, the guy works, and you know, I'm kind of proud of that for putting as little effort into him as I have. Trash. Sell this Dusk Shroud. So the Bale Waves that gives you the most trouble, generally the third Bale Wave and the fifth Bale Wave. The third one just because the fire Hydras just like murder your summons and your merc so quickly. It's just pretty annoying. Let's get some potions off the ground. So I do like to actually try and tank a decent amount of the third wave here. Oh shit. There we go. So that it kind of ensures the survival. Jesus, I can't. Yeah. There we go. There we go. There we go. Recently, I actually made Bale's Laugh my ringtone for my parents. I'm pretty proud about that. I think it's kind of hilarious. Yeah, the Venom Lord's not too hard. Alright. So I do like to kind of situate myself up here. And actually, I think I'll bring everybody else up here as well. Toss my bear down there to take the brunt of everything. Recast my Oak Sage, who's actually doing a really good job of staying out of everyone's way right now. And we'll just keep on casting. Keep on casting. Yeah, I like to kind of cordon off my mercenary in this little stairway. I find that if I don't, he often dies. So just one little trick that I have to make use of. This is actually a bail run that's gone pretty well. Like he hasn't died at all, so that's better than usual, I'll say. um, no, not that my summons really help against bail that much, but I do like to get them. Actually, I do like to cast Crepify on Vale. I think it helps my damage pretty immensely, um, as well as just keeps him in place so that he's not teleporting around all the time. There we go. And even though my Oak Sage has died, like, he's slowed enough that we don't really have to worry about him killing us. So using Decrepify Spellsteal is a huge part of what makes this build work. Once again, a Reaper's Toll with would be fantastic, but just don't have one. All right, let's see what this amulet is. Anything good? One of Amazon skills? That's actually not that bad, but not really that good. Sell. I'll sell. Let's see what that Falcon mask was. Trash. All right. Well, there you go. That's the build. I mean, he is pretty cool. Like, so my last character I made was a poison necro. Just like a summoner with a little bit more active playstyle. And this guy kind of plays pretty much the same, where you're keeping an army of nature up while blasting your enemies with harsh winds and the cold rains of a hurricane. So, I mean, he is fun. He's pretty cool. Um, just kind of annoying to play while talking and trying to keep everything in mind. But no, he's cool. He's cool. The Druid has never been one of my favorite classes, to be honest. But just once again, like the ability to have summons as well as a proficient, you know, um, elemental spell build is I think a pretty cool thing. Anyways, catch you on the flip side. Bye.